Welcome to Witches in Yoga Pants, your cozy corner of the cosmos where modern magic meets everyday life. We're here to explore magic, mindfulness, and personal growth with a grounded, no-fluff vibe. Whether you're into moon rituals, tarot spreads, or just trying to survive Mercury retrograde, you are in the right place. So get ready to disrupt some old patterns, explore what it means to reclaim your power, and remember who you really are. So pull up your yoga mat, light a candle, and let's get into it. Hello and welcome. It's great to see you again. Thank you for being here, for showing up and listening, for being willing to keep walking the path in a world that can sometimes feel like it's on fire. Today, that's what I want to talk about. Something that's been sitting heavy on a lot of hearts. It's the art of keeping peace inside of yourself when the world feels chaotic. How do you do this? How do you hold on to your calm when everything around you seems to be demanding a reaction? We're going to explore what it really means to live from that inner center of stillness, not by pretending that everything's fine or numbing out, but by cultivating a steady flame that doesn't flicker every time the wind blows. Let's be honest, the world is loud. Every scroll, every headline, every conversation seems to tug on your energy. It's not just a collective noise of politics or news cycles. It's also the constant hum of comparison and judgment. It swirls around us every day. When you're empathetic, intuitive, or energetically open, which I know that most of you listening are, it's easy to confuse awareness with obligation. You might start believing that in order to care, you have to carry, but that's not true. Caring doesn't mean draining yourself, and compassion doesn't mean absorbing everyone else's pain. There's a quiet strength in choosing to stay anchored even when everyone around you is reacting. And it's not apathy, it's alignment. Peace isn't passive, it's not the lack of emotion, and it's not denial. Peace is a living, breathing state of presence. It's what happens when your nervous system and your soul remember that they're on the same team. It's knowing I can care deeply about the world and still refuse to be consumed by its chaos. When we think of peace, we often imagine soft light, calm voices, maybe a quiet room. But peace can also be fierce. Peace is the ability to look at the storm and say, I'm not moving. Peace is not something you find somewhere out there. It's not something you achieve once everyone agrees with you or your life is finally calmed down. It's an inside job. Let's look at this lesson within Gate 37. In human design, the 37 sits in the solar plexus. It's the emotional center, and it's called the Gate of Peace. It carries a frequency of connection, empathy, and belonging. When this gate is defined in your chart, it brings a steady emotional wave. It teaches you how to bring calm into community and to hold space where people can meet without fear. When it's open or undefined, you feel the emotional weather around you. You're an empath, a mirror, the one who senses tension before anyone else speaks it out loud. Regardless of whether it's defined or open, the wisdom of this gate is the same. True peace begins when you stop trying to control other people's emotions and start mastering your own. Gate 37 reminds us that harmony can't be forced. It's something that grows from authenticity, trust, and emotional honesty. When your nervous system is agitated, everything tightens. Your thoughts, your breath, your words. It's the body's way of bracing for impact, even when there's no real threat in front of you. Realignment begins in small physical ways. It's a breath that reaches all the way down, a slow unclenching of the jaw, and it's the quiet permission to stop carrying so much. Your nervous system and your energy field move together, and when the body softens, your frequency steadies. You start to sense what belongs to you and what you've been absorbing from everyone else. This is how you return to yourself, through your body first, not through overthinking. The solar plexus, where Gate 37 lives, sits right in the intersection of feeling and embodiment. When an emotional wave rises, the body feels it before the mind can name it. If you stay with those sensations, the wave eventually evens out. That balance you feel in those moments, that's coherence. That's your energy remembering its natural rhythm. So, take a slow breath in, let it travel all the way down into your belly, and notice how that space opens up inside of you when you do. That's safety. You're already there. You don't have to earn it. You just simply allow it to exist. Every time you come back to that place, your inner world steadies. From there, peace becomes something your body recognizes. It knows how to handle it instead of the state you're trying to mentally create. When you settle into peace, your energy becomes open, not unguarded, but receptive. This is the space where intuition lives. It's where creativity finds you instead of being chased down. It's where you can hear that quiet guidance that gets lost in the noise of survival. Being in a receptive state is an alert stillness. It's the difference between forcing clarity and allowing it to reveal itself. From this state, your energy begins to draw in what resonates and it lets go of what doesn't. It's almost like breathing. Resistance feels different. It often hides in the body as tension, urgency, or a constant need to manage what's coming next. It's a sense that everything has to be done now or it's going to fall apart. Resistance hardens your energy and it builds walls where your energy wants to move. Most of the time, resistance isn't about stubbornness. It's about protection. Your body doesn't feel safe enough to receive, so it stays in motion to avoid stillness. It guards, it grasps, and it tries to control the outcome. When you notice that pattern, it's time to pause. Don't scold yourself for being in resistance. Just recognize it as a message. Your system is asking to be soothed, not pushed. Sometimes that looks like stepping outside for a breath of fresh air, stretching, placing your hand over your heart, or doing absolutely nothing but staring at the wall for a moment. These small acts are how the body relearns trust. As the nervous system calms, resistance begins to dissolve. What felt like a wall turns out to be a doorway, and you start to see options that weren't visible when you were in a tense state. Peace and receptivity work together in a loop. The calmer you are, the more open you become. And the more open you are, the easier it is to maintain peace. This is where intuition strengthens, relationships soften, and alignment begins to unfold naturally. When we're in a state of resistance, it becomes nearly impossible for our divine path to unfold. The flow of guidance and alignment that's always trying to reach us can't get through. Resistance reroutes us, sometimes gently, but sometimes dramatically, and it sends us on detours that pull us away from where we're meant to be. The moment we soften, even slightly, that energy begins to course again. The path realigns itself beneath our feet, and what felt blocked starts to open in ways we couldn't have forced. So, how do we navigate this when the world feels so heavy? It's okay if lately you've been feeling like everything is just too much. The collective field is saturated in fear, grief, division, overstimulation. You might be finding yourself wanting to pull away completely, to stop watching, stop listening, stop engaging. And sometimes that's exactly what's needed, honestly, a sacred pause, a moment to unplug and recalibrate. But other times, what's needed isn't escape, it's embodiment, staying in the world, but not its chaos. Seeking inner peace doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you learn to care with boundaries. You learn to hold the collective energy with love without losing yourself inside of the suffering. Let's talk about this energy through the lens of energy being currency. Every reaction, every opinion, every argument, it's an energetic transaction. You spend your energy on what you feed your attention to. So the question isn't, do I care? The question should be, how much of my life force am I willing to spend on something I can't control? When you choose peace, it doesn't mean you're withdrawing from the world. You're practicing emotional discernment. You're saying, I'll engage where I can be effective, and I'll step back where I'm only adding to the noise. Peace is often power management. There's a big difference between keeping the peace and being at peace. Keeping the peace often means suppressing your truth, swallowing feelings, and making yourself small in order to keep others comfortable. Being at peace means you can speak your truth without defensiveness. You can hold your center even when others around you don't. Gate 37 in its shadow tries to keep everybody happy. It wants harmony at any cost. But the higher expression of this gate knows that peace that's built on dishonesty is really just silence wearing a mask. Being at peace means choosing your integrity over approval. Here are some simple, powerful ways to nurture this peace, even when the world feels wild. First, be intentional about what you let into your energy field. Be aware of what you're consuming. Pay attention to the media you're listening to, your conversations, even the background noise in your environment. If it's agitating your nervous system, take a step back. Make sure you're consciously choosing some sort of input that's feeding you. It's not enough to just block out what drains you. You also need to bring in what restores you. Think about what genuinely refuels your energy and helps you feel clear and connected. This might be music that calms your nervous system, a podcast or a book that inspires you, time in nature, or real conversations that feel nourishing instead of heavy. Whatever it is, choose it on purpose. When you fill your space and your mind with what supports you, you naturally have less room for what pulls you off center. The more you feed your energy with what helps it thrive, the easier it becomes to stay balanced and grounded in peace. Another thing to think about is making sure that you are creating space for daily stillness. Even spending just 2 minutes with no music, no noise, no distractions, just your breath and awareness allows your body to remember what neutral feels like. Think of it as unplugging yourself from the static and plugging yourself back into the channel that you really want to hear. Take time to ground through your senses. Come back to what's real and right in front of you. Touch the earth with your bare hands and feet. Feel the temperature in the room you're in. Feel the weight or texture of the things around you. Drink your water slowly. Notice how the air moves when you breathe. Your senses are the quickest way to bring your energy back into the present moment. When you engage them, your spirit settles. The noise quiets and you stop spinning in thoughts about yesterday or worries about tomorrow. When something feels heavy, check in and ask, is this mine? Especially if you have an open emotional center, this question helps you separate empathy from enmeshment. Allow yourself the space to respond rather than react. When emotions rise, pause before you move or speak. Let them have breath before they have words. Most chaos dissolves in that small space between feeling and reacting. Reaction is fast. It comes from a need to protect yourself, and it often shows up that way too, as defensiveness. Response moves more slowly. It comes from the part of you that's willing to pause long enough to really listen to yourself, to the other person, and to feel the energy of the moment. Ask yourself, is there something else going on here? Is this conflict really about what's being said? Or is there something deeper asking to be seen? Giving yourself that extra moment doesn't mean you're avoiding the emotion. It means you're allowing the truth to settle before you express it. The more you practice this, the easier it becomes to stay grounded, even in uncomfortable moments. That pause is where the peace lives. Here's a short ritual you can use to connect to that inner calm. You can do this anytime, morning, before bed, or just after consuming something heavy. Light a candle, place your hand over your heart, and say aloud, I call my energy back to me. I release what isn't mine. I am the calm within the storm, and peace begins in me. Take 3 deep breaths and feel how the energy settles into your body like roots growing into the earth. That's it. It's a small ritual, but it brings a massive shift. Inner peace is a spiritual discipline. You weren't meant to shut down or disconnect from what's around you. You're meant to stay clear, to be able to recognize what's yours and what's not, and where your energy truly begins and ends. That's the essence of Gate 37, the energy that says, I will not lose myself to the noise and I will be the calm. It's the reminder that peace isn't something you have to search for. It's something you return to again and again through choice and awareness. This energy teaches us to be steady in our own presence and to bring warmth, understanding, and groundedness into the world that's still learning how to slow down. When you embody that frequency, you become a quiet invitation for others to find their center too. Thank you so much for being here with me today. If this episode spoke to you, share it with a friend who might need a little extra calm in their world. And remember, every time you return to your own calm, you shift the frequency of the collective. Your peace gives others permission to find theirs. Until next week, keep your heart open, your boundaries sacred, and your energy rooted in what truly matters. Take what you've heard today even further by joining my newsletter community. Each week, you'll receive journal prompts and reflections connected to the episode that are designed to guide you in bringing these conversations off the podcast and into your own journey. Let's keep going deeper together. The link is waiting for you below.